the My-Telaviv Real Estate Agency. My name is Diana Zueva and I am a business assistant for international communication of Vera Fund. Today I want to talk about the real estate market in Tel Aviv. All questions will be answered by the owner, Arie Addad. Good morning, Arie.
Good morning, Diana.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure meeting you.
So today I want to ask you about real estate market, but before, please tell me about the history of your agency, how you started it,
Yes.
Was it difficult, and why you chose this type of business?
We started 12 years ago in real estate business in Tel Aviv. There is a lot of requests, a lot of people wants to buy from all over the world in Tel Aviv. At the beginning we started slowly. 12 years ago, the prices were much cheaper than what it is today. The thing is, there is more requests than apartments for sale in Tel Aviv. That's the idea. This is why the prices are very up.
And why you chose this business?
Before I was in the furniture business, I was manufacturing in in Asia, like furniture. But I started this business because, first of all, it's a very interesting business. You have you could work different way in the real estate. You could invest, you could sell properties, you could buy ground and build on it. So it's an open market, and it's everyone could find his interest in this type of business. This is why I liked it a lot, and I like the interaction between peoples. Everyone has his own point of view. We have Tel Aviv is also a city where there is a lot of people that are coming from all over the world. We have Russian community, we have Italian community, a lot of. So everyone came with his own point of view, and this is why I like the market. I mean the real estate market. The interaction between people and.
I understand.
This is why.
It inspires.
Yes.
Ariel, then my next question about average cost. What's the average cost per square meter for luxury real estate in Tel Aviv?
A luxury?
Luxury.
Yes, wow. As luxury, first of all, it works a little bit like in the US. I mean, the Israelis like residents with doormans and 24/7 doorman and highlights now. We have different type of buildings. We have the German style, which is Bauhaus. It was built around in the 50s, 1950s. Then we have what we call the eclectic Ottomani, which was the period of the Ottomans, the Turks, that was before. So eclectic Ottomans, they are buildings, we call them boutique buildings. They are small buildings, not very high, but with a lot of characters, high selling. And then we have the new generation. It's like buildings, highlights, and it's a little bit outside of Tel Aviv. We try to, the CTO try to preserve the character of Tel Aviv, like with the small buildings in town, close to the beach. Mm-hmm. And outside of Tel Aviv, or a little bit outside, they are building a lot of skylights, and this is our future. It's a little bit like Manhattan, New York, or in young cities like Australia, Sydney, and stuff like that. This is the new Tel Aviv. So it's a mixture of a village and highlights.
Okay. And what about the cost per square meter?
Yeah, sure. The cost per square meter, this is the most important. I forgot the question. Okay, it could be let's say, what do you want, in shekels or in euros? What will help you more?
In dollars, if it's possible.
US dollars. You rent between $12,000 per square meters for all buildings, up to $25,000 when it's a brand new building. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's the average cost.
For luxury.
Well, I'm not speaking about luxury. It's going to be starting from 25,000 luxury, 25 US thousand per square meter for luxury or new buildings.
Okay, okay. And what season do locals or foreigners buy the most? When the property in high demand here?
Yeah, the high demands to buy, it's all year long. So no, it was the Corona period. So we had, let's say, 6 months, 8 months, what it was, people didn't bought a lot. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly it came back to normal, and it's not only normal, but people wanted to buy, and because there was not foreigners investors, so most of the buyers were the Israelis, local Israelis. High-tech people, we have a lot of high-tech people, and they are invested in the real estate, and this is what's happening today. Most of the buyers are Israelis, and something like 3-4% are investors from overseas.
Mm-hmm. From overseas.
Yes.
But it's popular, yeah, among foreigners to invest and to buy properties here.
Yeah, it's very popular. Everyone wants to have, first of all, it could be, for the tourists, they want to buy their summer house.
Summer house.
And the Israeli, they prefer to buy the house than renting it all the time. So yes, it's very popular. Real estate investment is very popular in Israel.
And what type of properties? It's like houses for staying during summer, yeah, as you mentioned. Or it's apartments as well.
You have different type of. Tel Aviv. You could be. You could live overseas and you want to buy, let's say, a summer holiday house. Or that's one. We're dealing a lot with those guys in Tel Aviv because we're close to the beach and stuff, and we have a lot of all our buyers. Most of them, let's say 50% of the investors of the buyers are from overseas, investing in Tel Aviv or in Israel. Most of the time in Tel Aviv, we're dealing with Tel Aviv, the most of ourselves.
Okay. In your speech, you mentioned about pandemic.
Yes.
How the pandemic affected this business and your agency. Did you work or not? Was it difficult for you, for your employees?
It was. I think it was difficult for everyone because nobody knew exactly what was going to happen in the future. But we worked. We're doing also what we call relocation. People that comes relocation. Let's say we're working a lot with embassies. The people are coming for 4 months. Let's say in Israel. So we have to find them an apartment. It's a complete all furnished apartment, and we're renting it. We are handling apartments this way. So we have different part of the business where first of all we're handling apartments, then renting it to relocation people during summer, winter, and then another part where we're selling the apartments. So during the Corona, all the apartments were full of relocation people. So we worked, and then it was something about 6-8 months. Almost nobody bought an apartment, but everybody was home thinking about what they will buy when this thing will finish, the Corona. So this is what's happened when they opened. We came back to normal. It was not really normal after 8 months, but people came out and they started to. Everybody wanted to buy apartments, and the prices we saw the prices will go down. But the prices went up because the request was stronger than the apartments on the market.
Arie, is here a large number of vacant areas?
A lot of vacant areas? Ground to build? Fresh?
For building, for just vacant flats, vacant apartments, or all of them in demand?
Okay, there is first of all, there is not, in Tel Aviv, there is not too many ground now to build. There is not too many. There is in the suburb of Tel Aviv, around Tel Aviv, but not too many in Tel Aviv. But the thing in Israel, they invented something. I don't know if they invented something, they started to do it in the US too. It's to take a whole building, knock him down. Most of the building in town are 3 floors building, small buildings. So the thing is now today we knock down the building and build 7-floor building instead of 3-floor building. This is where the construction is possible. Then instead of having an old building, you have a brand new building. This is the idea.
Okay.
Did I answer your question? There is not too many ground. There is few of them inside Tel Aviv to build. But the thing that what we do now is we take an old building, knock down, destroy it, and build it up, bigger, higher. So then this is where you could do business in the real estate now today. We call it Tama 38. It's like, because it's an old building, so the government wants the investors to rebuild the old buildings because it's dangerous. It's dangerous for earthquake, just in case something happened. So old buildings could fall down and a lot of people could die. And it's dangerous because they're shooting us from south and sometimes from north. Even though we have the Iron Dome, what we call, to protect all the old Israel. So we need to have very strong buildings and safe buildings.
And does your agency specialize on this?
Yes, our agency is specialized in projects. We have projects and we sell it. We sell apartments on what we call it on paper. Let's say the building is there and we're selling the new apartment that we're going to build in 2 or 3 years. We will be built in 2 or 3 years. So we sell it before we build it.
And what normally you build? An apartment or commercial offices?
So it was, it's both. It depends of the region. If you go east or south, so it will be like more investment for offices. But central and north and everything, most of the time it's more like apartments. And sometimes it's a mixture. So you have, let's say, 10 floors of offices, then 24 floors of, let's say, apartments, and then 10 floors of an hotel or whatever. It could be a mixture.
Okay.
And then what's happening with the corona, so I think the offices we will build less offices because
of corona.
Not because of the corona itself, because the big companies changed their state of mind. A lot of people are working from home. Let's say if you work 6 days in a week or 5 days in a week, you're going to work 2 days from home. So they need less offices than before, the company that renting it. So I think personally that there is less future for the investment in the offices than in apartments for right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the market has changed after the corona. Yeah.
A little bit. I think it's all over the world. It's only in Israel. You know, the corona changed the point of view of big companies for offices.
And I also heard that Israel is highly popular among people from France. Is it so?
Yes, Israel is very popular from not only France. All Europe. It's 3-4 hours flight from Europe. We have a lot of Russian people that are coming. We have 1,200,000 Russian in Israel, which is almost 15% of our population. So we have a lot of visitors from Russia too. We have the French, they are very strong in Tel Aviv. Okay, they want to be the French people.
French people.
The French are coming for vacation. They want to be close to the beach. You know, it's a little bit like the Riviera I don't know if you've been in south of France. So their concept, the idea, it's being not too far from the beach, and they like to enjoy they like to sunbathe and to eat by the beach. You know, like we call it in French. How we call it? I forgot. Well, this is the idea of vacation for French people most of the time. But we have Italians, it's a bit like the same. We have German people. You know, it's international. Tel Aviv, you walk by, you could meet an Uzbek from Uzbekistan, you could meet from all over the world. People are coming. And we are very rich with food too. Well, this is not you came for that. But we have food that coming from all over the world. Everyone comes with his own food, so it's a mixture of. It's a nice place to live. Yes, of nationalities.
Okay, and you was born in France.
I was born in Paris, France. Yes.
In Paris. And why you decided to choose Israel
First of all, I'm a mixture. My dad he was Israeli, and I feel home. Simply feel home. The quality of life is good, and I like the interaction of all those nationalities together. It makes sense to me. I like to speak to Russian people. I like to try to understand them. I don't understand them like the culture, and I think it's a good place to live, and I feel good. And this is why I'm here.
Okay. And who are your customers?
Oh, like I said before.
I mean, from what countries?
Okay, we have a lot of
Mainly.
Israelis because we are in Israel. So
Israel.
as I said, the Israeli that buying in Tel Aviv lately are high-tech people because they have a lot of money and they are living in a world a little bit different. And I want to be sure to. I mean, they're investing in. And then we have French people that buying. Every country has his own part of Israel they want to live in. Let's say Russian, they're living in a part of Russian people are in Bat Yam, in Ashkelon, it's a little bit south, and lately in Tel Aviv. And American people, they're like Jerusalem, Caesarea, I don't know if you know Caesarea.
Caesarea.
Yeah, all those, every community has a town or a place they like to lay out there.
Okay, but you work with foreigners?
Yes, I work a lot with foreigners. Yes.
Okay. And what about getting permission for construction for building here? Is it difficult? What the process?
Yes, it's a process and it's difficult, but it's possible. The thing is, it's like we know it depends on the region, but every region of Tel Aviv has its future. Let's say when you have a 3-floor buildings, we know soon it will be a 5.5, 6-floor buildings. So every building, we know every area has its own future for real estate project.
Ariel, please
Yes.
tell me about taxes that locals should pay when they sell properties.
When they buy properties, when
Yes.
they sell it, I
Yes.
understand. So it's a little bit like west of Europe. I mean, when you buy a property, you have to pay something like 8% of the value of the property just to get it. Yes. And when you sell it, you will have to pay 25% on the profit that you made. If you bought it $2 million, $2 million, and then suddenly after 3-4 years you're selling it at $3 million, I'll give you an example, so you will have to pay 250,000 US, which is 25% of your profit. Then you will deduce all your expenses you had around. But this is the idea for taxes. But the thing is that you don't pay, you pay only once when you buy. Usually in Europe, every year you pay tax of the value of your property. You have to pay 1 or 2% of the total value of your property every year. Mm-hmm. This is Europe and this is US. In Israel, you pay only once.
Only once?
Only when you buy it. And then after you don't pay any more taxes. You will pay taxes on the incomes. Let's say if you rent your flat $4,000 a month, then you will have to pay to the government 400 US per month, which is about 4,800 a year US. Okay, it's 10% of the value of the rental of the apartment you will have to pay to the government, which is not a lot. You see, in Europe it's around 50% of the value of your apartment with all the taxes together.
Okay.
This is why a lot of investors are very interested to invest in Israel.
Yes, very good.
Fine, yeah.
And in general, do you enjoy the real estate market in Israel?
Well, it's a strange question, but
Of course.
if I enjoy it, I love my job. If I won't be good if I don't love it. I like people in general. I like to meet people and things like this. Yes, I like my job, but and I like real estate now. I think yes.
Thank you so much, Ariel,
Welcome.
for our interview.
Say hello to our friend from Russia and from the US, I don't know, from all our friends all over the world. And we will be pleased to welcome you in Tel Aviv whenever you come.
Thank you so much. I wish you prosperity and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So let's talk about the flat, the apartment.
Yes.
That we're going to watch now.
We're going to see an apartment with a sea view by the Hilton. That's the name of the apartment. It's a triplex, 3 floors apartment with a jacuzzi and a nice terrace, a layout, what we call. And I hope you're gonna like it.
Okay. And what the price of that apartment?
The price of this apartment, it's about 2.3 million US dollars.
Okay. And how it works here in Israel? Who has an access to the property? For instance, now we are going to check to see this apartment, and only your agency can show it or not?
Yeah, it's an exclusivity. It's an apartment that we sold 5 years ago, and then the owner wants to sell it now.
Okay.
Because he wants an apartment a little bigger, so we have to sell it. Mm-hmm. It's all furnished, and maybe it could interest one of your customers.
Yeah, of course. I guess it's and we have this practice that we work with agencies from different countries, and our customers, of course, they might be interested in your properties, because to invest in real estate, I guess, is one of the most wisest way to save and multiply your money.
Sure. Everyone needs to buy an apartment for his family, and that's the thing. So you like Jerusalem? You were in Jerusalem yesterday?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's really
so beautiful,
and the atmosphere is absolutely different. And you know, I like it more than Tel Aviv.
Yes, it's like I said before. It's a little bit different. It's history. It's a piece of history, and all the religions in Jerusalem. You could have the English church, the Orthodox church, the Roman church, the Muslims for sure, and the Jewish. That's the meeting of all the. Jerusalem is very, 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 very nice city, and is charged of history.
And how often do you travel these days?
Lately,
do you have time?
Yes, I travel I mean, I was used to travel before the corona more. Now it's slowed down a little bit, but it's very easy to travel from Israel to Europe. It's 3-4 hours flight, or it's a good place to fly from, let's say.
And especially Israel, you mean, yeah?
Yes. No, we started the peace process with our neighbors. Before we were like it's a small country surrounded of a lot of, let's say, Arab country. They were not our friends, but I hope, and it started when this part of the world, Middle East, will be in peace. So I think we will. It will be really like paradise to live here.
Mm-hmm. Do you miss your motherland, France?
I miss my motherland, France, and like I said before, for me, I mean, I'm half French and half Israeli, so for me, I feel home in France, and I feel home in Israel. I hope I will travel soon in Russia. I've never been there, and I know it's a beautiful country. Terrace, like I said, the apartment is a triplex, 3 floors apartment. On the last floor, we have a jacuzzi, like sunbeds, and we have the beautiful sea view, open sea view. We're close to the Hilton, we're close to the Sheraton, Carlton, you know, all those very fancy hotels, and you have the Turkish embassy there, the English embassy. Yes, you see the flag there?
Yeah, it's an embassy, yeah?
Yes, it's an embassy. And then next to it you have the English embassy. It's a very nice area. It's the north part of Tel Aviv. And you know, Israel, I mean, it's so we have the beach everywhere. I mean, in south you have a very nice beach, in the south of Tel Aviv, central Tel Aviv and north of Tel Aviv. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Diana, it was a pleasure meeting you, and I hope to see you soon back in Tel Aviv.
Thank you. Nice
You're more than welcome.